I want to know how to collaborate with an FL like producer. Because it's very difficult for me and Danny, at least. And you say it sucks too, but like,
So there's a setting when you go to bounce things. It says create stems.
What's up, everybody? My name's Danny Ferrari.
My name's Parker Ament.
My name is Frank Zagarino.
And we are so pleased to have the boys from Good Times Ahead in the studio today with us at the XLNT Show. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Amazing.
Let's talk about what you guys have done. Basically, you invented trap music, okay?
Yep.
Just saying that's a fact. The inventors of trap music, for sure. Okay? Have huge accolades. You guys Grammy nominated.
No.
Okay, so you made that up.
Yeah, I guess so.
You're not. You're soon to be
Working on it.
soon to be Grammy nominated.
That's what I
But
meant to say.
you've worked with a ton of Grammy nominated people.
Yeah.
Grammy
Yeah,
winners.
That's what I meant to say.
Laid Back Luke,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Diplo,
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Calvin Harris,
Yep.
Riri,
Yep.
and a ton more. We're so excited to have you guys. You guys are OGs. You're legends. You got a dope EP coming out that we're going to talk about, which we're super, super excited about to get into.
I'm so hyped on the EP.
Me too.
Yes.
I'm so hyped on
Me
it.
too.
Same.
So, yes, thank you guys so much for coming. We're so happy to have you here. So, as your first time in the XLNT Show, we have a tradition. You guys saw us doing some shady things behind your back, right?
It was pretty shady, but
That's pretty shady. And the reason why
We
it's
have an
shady
explanation.
is, I know you guys know this, but obviously Parker and I, as XLNT Sound, are known as the bad boys of EDM. It's,
Ooh.
you know that. You already
Yeah.
know that. And obviously Frank is obviously
An honorary
an
bad
honorary
boy.
bad
Yep.
boy.
Nice. Nice.
You guys are from Miami. That's
Yeah.
pretty bad boy central, right?
Yeah.
So we like to start our podcast off with giving gifts.
Oh,
Gifts of love.
Nice.
But also a little bit of aggression.
yes.
A
yes.
little bit of edge.
That's
you know?
that's very Miami of you.
Yeah. So, you guys are bad boys. You know?
Yes. Yep.
So we got you a gift. It won't hurt you.
Oh.
There's a couple things in here.
Oh.
I can explain them, but I'll let you guys open them up, however. But everybody gets a gift, and I spent the most on yours.
Yep.
So first things first, I could tell you what they are.
Viper Tech.
Those are both stun guns. You guys can have fun with that.
Really?
Yes.
This is awesome.
They were all out of the colors. They're only pink. But
Hey.
I think that's cool.
This is
You want to
awesome.
open
That
it up?
is
We'll
bad
get you
boy.
opened up.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad boy.
Hell yeah, I do.
Oh, I'm still trying this right
He's
now.
so hyped. I love it.
dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
If we need
shit.
batteries, I
they're-
think we
I
have
hope
batteries.
they're charged.
So what made you get stun guns?
Well, there's more in there because that's bad boy shit. That's fucking tight.
Yeah. Oh, they're
Dude, they're hot pink.
Wow.
Protect yourself.
Oh.
Shit!
Oh. Wow, that's for real.
I'm legit scared.
Yeah, that was
It's louder than you think it is.
Yeah, it's really
is.
loud.
It's nice to have.
Oh, nice
and
little
a charger.
USB cable.
Yeah, that's all you need.
You guys keep this. I'll take the cable.
There's
you,
more
guys.
in there.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, please continue opening
Holy
gifts. There's a couple
What
things.
else is
I'm
there?
so stoked that they're charged.
They're not as.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
That's the main
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, this is the main thing.
Yeah. But go
You're
ahead.
saying
go-
there's more in here?
Yeah. There's a couple more things in there for you
Make
guys.
sure this is
Let's
put
check
away
this out right here.
correctly.
So I got you guys balaclavas.
Ooh,
in
yes.
case-
I've been
Nice.
actually wanting one of these.
There you go,
Look at
bad boy
that.
shit.
Yeah.
Bad
You
boy
both
shit.
have 'em?
This is
Just
definitely bad
nailing
boy
it.
shit.
And there's
Nailing
one
it.
more special thing in there.
Nice.
Yeah. You don't.
I needed one of these.
You're welcome. For crimes.
One more
Not
thing.
for schemes. And that is called a Slim Jim. That's for breaking into cars, boys.
Nice.
So
Hey,
Dude,
thank you so much.
the whole kit. Thank you, man.
I want to make sure you guys are set up.
Yes, this
Amazing.
is amazing.
Thank you guys. For
I thought it was a
coming to the
ruler.
show.
Thank you.
No.
You guys,
I kind of want to try it. I'm like so curious. So yeah, everybody gets like a dangerous weapon. Oh, that's for you. So
After you.
we'll try it later.
On your car?
Yeah, we can try it.
We'll try it on your car.
Yeah, we can try it on my car too.
You can just throw that box too. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
boom.
Thank you
Nice.
so much.
Beautiful.
Nice.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
man.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to stun somebody, there it is.
You guys are the first one to get an assortment of bad boy items.
Yeah.
I loved it.
You guys got like a fun box.
I was in a good mood.
Pinata of violence.
Yeah. So like we've gotten people have gotten swords. We got Ghastly David. We got him Wolverine claws, which are pretty sick. They were like
Sick.
Yeah, dude.
We got Blanca Machete.
yeah, we got him Machete.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so thank you guys for coming on.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoy the gifts, committing crimes.
Hell yes.
Or just being badasses, which you guys are.
Nice.
Want to definitely talk about just, I think for me, like the one of the main things that I have a couple things I want to talk to you guys about, but just coming up, like you guys have been around for a while, and you're not old. I'm older than both of you, just so you know. You're definitely not old at all.
I feel old.
You're not. Your boy's a dino over here. Okay.
Dino.
Yeah. But I was thinking about like with having you guys on, I've always, and I know a lot of people also too, have looked at you guys as, like OGs in a sense. And you guys were really, really there at the very, like, I feel like the very, very beginning.
For me, for sure,
The
yeah.
very, very beginning of the wave of electronic dance music, especially in America. And I'm wondering for you guys, like, did you have any awareness of that when that was going on? Like, looking back at it now, did you guys have like a sense of like, yo, this shit is like popping off and we are in the right place that we need to be right now? Or was it less sort of, was it less
apparent?
Yeah, was it less apparent or less like focus and just kind of just being there and just being in the moment?
Yeah, I mean, definitely for me, and I'm sure for Julio, like, we were just there. We were just doing stuff, and it was all super exciting. And, like, I mean, we had known of dance music a bit before that, like, growing up in Miami and stuff. They'd play, like, old trance stuff on the radio sometimes. And then we have, again, in Miami, the space has been open for, like, 30-plus years.
Yeah.
So, like, that kind of culture of, like, house and tech house and that kind of shit has always been around us. So, like, for us, what was the newer thing, which is what also really got us into just dance music in general, was, like, a lot of, like, the electro vlog house and, like, that kind of, like, not, like, the classic dance stuff, but, like, essentially just, like, the more punk aspect of the dance music that was coming out. Because it was really just, like, trance and tech house and, like, house stuff. Right. And, like, that was still underground here. It was huge in Europe.
Right.
But yeah, like, we had a bit of that in Miami, and then growing up and getting into like I said, like all that different sound of different things. Like, like it was all new to us. We were just excited. We were excited to just make music and just be able to do what we did. Like, we're just like, what the fuck how are we even here? How are we even doing this shit?
Well, you didn't have anybody, like nowadays it's like we all have like things to kind of reference. Like I just think about like just back at like, what was it like in 2010 or 2011? Like, right when shit was about to pop off.
Yeah.
And like I had always been in bands and stuff, and I had listened to like Benny Benassi and stuff, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I had like, I was oh, that's cool. That's not my thing, but that's cool.
Yeah.
But to be somebody that was involved in it, and then also like not having anything to really listen to reference, you shape your own sound. Like, that must have been
you guys
so
were
crazy.
Making the reference tracks.
Yeah, that's what you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's ever, maybe I wouldn't have thought about it if I was in your position too, but I just wonder if you guys realized that.
Yeah,
like,
well, I mean, a lot, like, so, I mean, we first and foremost love music.
Right.
All kinds of music. And so, especially when I was younger and stuff, like, I was just searching through the internet for just anything that was different and new. Like, I grew up in like super into classic rock, super into just metal and like everything. Like, the first thing that I did was learn to play guitar.
Sick.
And like I always wanted to just like be fucking Dimebag Darrell. Like, that was like what I was trying to do.
Hell yeah.
And from then I started hearing like Satisfaction, Benny Benassi on that fucking Apple commercial.
Yep.
Bloody Beetroot shit, like just like all these different kinds of things that were like incorporating this new way of making music.
The rock energy.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And that's like I just kept going more and more, like, oh, like where can I find like different shit? And like it was just like there's so much different stuff. I remember listening to like Black Sun Empire drum and bass shit like super early on.
Wow.
And like all these different things, like when all the really early dubstep stuff that was coming. I was just like, what is all of this? This is crazy.
Yeah.
And there would just be all these different random ass no name kind of people that were just making all this cool shit, and then I would just take that in and try to remake it or make my own version of it.
Right.
And that's even all the songs and stuff that we're known for and stuff. For the most part, like a lot of that came from like really underground references that we were just like trying to make our own versions of those kinds of things, which is kind of still how we work now, or at least how I kind of work.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Being in Florida, did that help jump off the career, or did you have to travel away from that?
I think definitely growing up in Miami, it was like an asset for sure. Like being around like WMC or going to Ultra and like just meeting artists outside, just walking on the beach or something.
Crazy.
Being able to like walk into different kinds of parties, like I feel like that's just what came with just growing up in Miami and shit. Like,
yeah. That's also a huge like melting pot of music. Like we were always exposed to like all these different kind of genres of stuff. Like everybody that I knew, and like everybody was into everything. Like in talking to a lot of people from different cities and stuff, like a lot of people like their friends and their group of friends, they would pretty much like listen to one kind of thing, and like that would kind of define them for those years or whatever. Yeah. Like me and my friends, and like same, that's also why we always clicked from the beginning, is because like we always listened to fucking everything. Like Andrea Bocelli was fucking incredible, which he is fucking incredible. Like there's just so many levels to fucking everything, like all the salsa, merengue, all this stuff, like just everything. It's more about, to me, always been like the energy behind the songs and the music and stuff, and that's just what always like I would always gravitate towards, no matter the genre, no matter
just the attitude.
Yeah.
Did you guys have like a crew of people, like of producers, like because like now it's like so easy to like find a friend online to like who like produces beats, especially because it's like so popular. We were talking earlier, it's like saturated.
Yeah.
Did you guys have like your own crew of people, of friends, or was it just mainly you two kind of just making beats together?
I mean, we kind of like, it was just us two really working on music like that, but we had a lot of friends that were like promoters, DJs.
Yeah.
And we just kind of like share music that way. But yeah, I mean, honestly, we like kind of just learned from each other. Or I really learned from him, because like
we both learn from each other.
Yeah, I mean, well, I just feel like when we first met, I was still like learning how to like, I didn't really know how to like torrent.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, honestly, like a lot of like my first sample packs, my first plugins, like I got from him, and just learning like, about dubstep through him, and just going to different parties with like his friends, and just checking out different genres, and like.
Yeah.
What's really cool, just a quick side note, is you guys started as a duo. You're still a duo.
Yeah.
And it's really, really rare where you see a duo stand the test of time the way you guys have.
Yeah, man.
Like, there's literally so few and it's just really cool to see that you guys have stuck together, and it's as good as ever,
Yeah.
How did you guys like meet? What was that whole thing like?
Well, so it was through a mutual friend who was a promoter, and like on Facebook.
Mauricio.
Yeah, shout out to Mauricio.
That's such a Miami name. That's
Yeah.
It is.
He's a promoter, right?
Yeah, promoter.
That's such a promoter name.
Shout out Mauricio.
So true.
But yeah, man, he like hit me up, was like, yo, man, I see you're like making music. You should check out this dude. And like it was Matt's music, and like
same here.
And I just remember like listening to it, and I was like, man, this sounds so pro. Like, and around the same time, I just worked at Ultra as like for hospitality. My cousin had a job; he hooked me up, and I was just starting to like listen to like Diplo, and I was working the Carl Cox tent, so it was like a weird mix of shit.
Interesting.
Oh, dope.
But yeah, I mean, I remember when we first met, that's kind of what we bonded over, and just like he would just explain to me like, man, you don't know Carl Cox? Like, you should check out this trance shit. You should check out this. Like, have you never heard of Skrillex? You need to check this shit out. Like, wow.
That's dope.
Super crazy, and I mean, honestly, like, just super inspiring, and I feel like so many of those kind of interactions between me and him is just kind of what keeps us, together, and just keep on learning from each other like that.
So sick.
Yeah.
So when did you start making music together? Like, you guys met through Mauricio, and then what was like the trigger that was like, oh, let's become a duo?
So he basically was just like, I'll go pick you up right now.
Nice.
Sick.
He's like, oh, what are you doing today? I'll go pick you up. I'm like, I've never met you in my life. Like, we maybe had like 4 messages on Facebook, like before any of this. And
I love
all right,
that.
No,
I'm down.
we talked a bit more than that. I'm not that fucking creepy.
It was short.
I think that's rad.
That's
I
awesome.
love that about
I'm outside right now,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's just like
Yeah.
You know, you didn't start in a duo, dude. You've always done this yourself.
I did start in a duo.
I've always even before Parker, you know, me and Parker are a duo to since we've talked about. But even as I started doing electronic music, my best friend at the time and I were in like a screamo band, and we both got kicked out of the band. And he was like, you know, he was like, he didn't really have too much like musical talent per se. He was talented, but he was like more of like our screamer. But he was so good on the computer, and he started, you know, doing, you know, producing in Logic. And then I was like, oh, like I was writing a lot of guitar stuff, and so we bonded on that, and then we both started making electronic music together.
Yeah.
And when you guys are talking about your story, it makes me feel so happy to think about that, like to have that, because I know exactly what you're talking about when you just have a friend that you just bond with, that you just get down with. Yeah. And for people like you, like I always like wonder, I'm like, damn, like how do people like just do this by themselves?
I started as a duo.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
I thought you did. I thought you said you didn't. I'm sorry.
Did.
Oh, wow.
I started as a duo. Yeah, my buddy was in. I was in high school, and my buddy was like, "This is what Ableton looks like," and he downloaded a cracked copy of Ableton for me, and was like, "All right, make some songs." And I was like, what? Like, that's not how that works. But I think the thing that happens with duos is that same thing with bands, right? Like someone's commitment levels is significantly higher, and someone's passion levels is significantly higher. So it's really cool that you guys feed each other in that way, and there's no imbalance there.
Yeah,
that's freaking awesome. Because for me, the reason that, like, he taught me how to do it, you would think that he would be just as passionate and committed. And I wanted to work on it every single day.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, I got to go to sailing camp." And I was like, "Fuck sailing camp. Let's make rub sounds, dude."
Yeah.
This guy sounds rad.
Sailing camp, hell yeah.
Shout out Stefan. But yeah, so it just ended because I wanted to do it every single second, and he didn't want to do it every single second at all. So I feel like that's usually the case, right?
It helps when you have a buddy.
Yeah.
No, it definitely does. And that's kind of like what drove me. Like, I was such a fan of what he was making, and like it was so like different creative stuff, different from what I was hearing. I was just like, dude, this is so cool. We would keep talking about music, and especially like System of a Down. We bonded heavy.
It's my favorite band ever.
Same.
That's literally the first thing we got in his car, and he was like, "You listen to System of a Down? I know every fucking word."
It's over.
We literally
all four of
Let's
us,
go.
dude.
I'm so
It's insane.
Yeah, they're okay.
It's my number one band.
That's awesome.
I got a very specific question for you guys.
Yeah.
So I want to bring it back to 2012.
Yeah.
Okay. Day of the Dead, Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Diplo, Dillon Francis is playing.
Yeah.
Crookers.
Yeah.
Nadastrom.
Yep.
Titsworth.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh,
Shout out
It's worth, yeah.
And Jules.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me about that show?
Yeah. So I had a project called Jules before that. I would make like rap, but also like Moonbatone at the time.
Yeah.
And then this was, I think, the first year that Hard was doing like a Day of the Dead kind of party.
Yep.
So I got booked to do it. Shout out to Dave because he hooked me up with that. Shout out to Dave.
Shout out Dave. Mauricio.
Shout out Dave.
Great dude.
Yeah, man. And at the time also we were just getting off of our first leg of the Rihanna tour that we were on. So we were
sorry. Take a second. You just. That's nuts. Sorry, proceed. Yeah.
Go ahead. We're circling back.
We'll circle back.
Yeah.
So we had literally we were building a name for ourselves, and we figured, man, like let's just get on that stage. Let's just kill it right now. I mean, we have music. Let's just do it. Mm-hmm. So we ended up playing as Good Times Ahead. But yeah, it was billed as Jules.
Interesting.
So that was the first official Good Times Ahead show.
Well,
it officially wasn't, right, because it was billed as a Jewel. But for first time playing back to back for a big show?
Well, for like a festival type show, yeah.
Cool.
But I mean, our first show actually, I think, might have been where was it? Probably like Miami for sure. Like
for sure.
It
As
was
a
like
duo?
As a duo, yeah. And it was like a random like Halloween show. We dressed up as Bloody Beetroots.
Yo, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, like that shit was crazy. I like just getting on a fucking like a fucking
Stage?
festival like that. Yeah, on a
That's
stage and
crazy.
seeing my name on a flyer and shit.
Yeah.
Like, that was crazy. So I have to say thank you to Dave
Actually,
and all them.
I was just the first show I think that we played was I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It was they toured it around a bit. It's called Dayglow.
Yep.
Oh,
I remember
yeah.
Dayglow.
But yeah, it was over in Miami, and it was with the bingo players, I think.
Oh, hell yeah.
Danny loves the bingo players.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that was like our first like official show.
That's right.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's so awesome, man.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to circle back to this Rihanna thing, dude.
Yeah. Circle back.
So how did this tour with Rihanna happen? Take us through these steps.
So this is pretty early on, like when in our career, we were
Yeah.
maybe together for I want to say like two,
3 years. Yeah.
And our manager at the time, he was
Stevie. Shout out Stevie.
Shout out
Shout out
Stevie.
Stevie.
He was working with this company called 360 Management Company, and they were working in the same offices as Rock Nation.
Okay.
Yeah.
One day, Rihanna's manager Jay Brown was like walking through the halls, and Stevie's playing our music, and basically walks into his office, was like, "Hey man, what's this?" He's like, "Oh, these are these guys that I managed from Miami." He's like, "Oh, you want to put them on tour with Rihanna?"
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, she needs an opener for her European leg.
Yeah.
It's
And
gonna
imagine we then get a call from Stevie's like, hey, so do you guys want to go on tour with Rihanna in Europe? I'm like, what?
Yo,
The fuck?
What? Dude, if you think about it, that is the perfect like opener for you guys. Like Rihanna's listeners
Yeah.
would just vibe with your guys' stuff. I feel
Yeah.
like that was a really good move.
No, I honestly, like, looking back and, like, especially now knowing what I know and what we were playing and everything, like, she was still touring and doing everything off of all of her dance stuff with Calvin and all that stuff.
Yep.
So it makes a lot of sense.
It's cohesive.
You know?
Right time
Yeah.
too. It was a specific time where that stuff was just really popping off.
Yeah.
So what? I mean,
How crazy that it
Yeah.
happens like that. Someone just walk. Oh, you want to put them on tour? Like that's
Yeah.
fucking it.
But
No,
like-
it was insane, man. We still talk about it and try to remember stuff. Like can't
There's a
believe
lot
that
of-
even happened. Like,
There's a lot of shit like that has happened over the years that I still can't believe it, but it's just one of those blessings, man. And honestly, like at that time when we got that call, I remember we were in Europe at the time. I think because we were like, I think out there for a week or something. Like
yeah, it was our first time in Europe.
Yeah.
Playing like little 200 cap, like
Yeah.
Nice.
We weren't
random
even-
ass place in Italy.
We weren't even gone for like a week, and I remember we were so homesick because this is like the longest time we've ever stayed away from home.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we're like homesick, and we get this call. They're like, "Yo, we're gonna go to Europe for another like 3 months straight." I'm just like,
Holy shit.
we're like,
Damn.
should we do this? Like,
Yeah, no, it was like, yeah.
we literally
Yeah,
we
we
had to
have
think
to.
about it.
was Rihanna like very like separated from you guys? Like, I'm sure you probably met her, or was she like kind of more
Chilling.
like,
She was chill. She was chill. Honestly,
cool.
though, like it took a little while for us to warm up to it because
I would imagine.
we're just nervous to be. In the
Oh yeah,
area. It was kinda one of
starstruck
those-
as fuck. Like,
yeah, she was one of the first celebrities, at least me personally, that I've ever been around. So I'm like,
Same.
anytime she would like walk in the room down the hall, I can like smell her.
feel
her
so
presence.
good. Huh?
It smells
There's
insane.
this smell that you'll never forget it.
yeah,
You know,
So I had a session with Timbaland. It was like kind of like a random thing that I like fell into, like kind of like one of those like how am I
Yeah.
like one thing next thing you know you're in a session.
Yeah.
and God damn it, he smelled so good. There's something about like really famous successful people. They have their own distinct smell. Like if you smelled it again, you
real.
would know.
Yeah, they
Sorry,
smell-
I didn't
they
mean to cut
smell
you off, but
gold.
there's
That's
something.
gold.
They
Yeah,
smell rich.
Is that
it's so true.
is that
isn't it?
Timbaland?
yeah. You smell great, bro.
I think Timberland's in the other room.
No, but I'll never forget. I think it was like the third or fourth show. She was like walking to do rehearsal or walking around or something like that, and she came by and like knew us by name. I was like, "Oh, you're Matt and you're Julio." And we're just like, "What?
Yo.
you just said my name? Like what?"
Yeah.
No, she was cool as hell. She was really cool.
That's so rad.
And you guys said you were originally playing like random 200 cap-ish rooms.
Yeah.
So then,
Yeah,
so
that's
you
true.
you were staying there, right? And then you went home, went back to Europe, or did you end up staying in Europe?
No,
No,
we
we
went
went
back
home.
home.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
went home, and then so how much bigger were the venues now?
We went from that to 200, from 200 to like I think
think it
the
was-
first show was 80,000 or 60,000 people.
Yeah.
Holy
Talk,
shit.
No, I don't know if anyone in history has made a jump in venue size that quickly ever.
Yeah, no, it was fucked up.
Yeah,
like
that's
it was
Yeah.
amazing, but like I remember
Nerve-wracking.
that first show, we're just like
Nerve-wracking.
trying to fucking mix or whatever.
We had to
Just like,
we had
dude,
to
it
set
was-
up our own CDJs. We had to like go up on stage.
break down every night.
Holy
everything.
shit.
every night, yeah. And then it was just like I remember we like first show, we drank our whole rider before we even
Oh,
got
dude,
on.
yeah.
It was just
Yeah.
a lot of nerves.
Holy shit,
That's so crazy. They don't even know how to
280K.
hook up CDJs. You know, a Rihanna tour. They don't even know what that is.
Yeah, they
you
don't know.
know?
They're not like her crew's not gonna know what that shit
No,
is.
they're like,
yet.
"Where's the microphone? All right,
Well,
here it is."
the thing is, we're not paying them.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
like, it doesn't even
True.
matter.
Yeah.
Like we're not
They're the
one-
openers.
Yeah,
They're-
which is on
they're lucky.
any of those kind of shows and stuff. Like you handle your own shit.
Yeah.
Build like break
Yeah, you have
break
your own
down
crew
everything.
and
Put
stuff,
it. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's insane.
So then,
Or you pay them.
True.
So after you get off tour on Rihanna, especially too, because like if we're going back to 2012, right? Shit
Yeah.
starts popping off. You guys are at the perfect place that you need to be for this. Obviously, I mean that I feel like it wasn't just luck, obviously, that you got involved with Rihanna. You know, there were other things that were in place. You guys were working, and also to the timing of everything, and as far as with the music, and you guys were in the right place, and you were prepared, and you got this great opportunity. So you get off tour with Rihanna. How many doors did that open up for you guys? Was there no longer at a point where you played 200 cap rooms in Europe? Was it just instantly like a rocket ship for you guys during that time because of all of the craze around EDM?
I mean, it was a bit of a mix. It just, I think with any kind of market that you're breaking into,
Yeah.
you pretty much, which we learned, you kind of are starting over unless you have like some kind of crazy viral
Smash hit.
flame, or like somehow everybody's just knows. But like I tell a bunch of people that let's say haven't toured Europe and stuff yet, like you kind of almost have to start over there.
Yeah.
So like that was obviously huge for us because we literally went to 70 cities with her.
Jeez.
I think the smallest venue was like 35K and the biggest was 90K
Oh my God.
in France. And yeah, I mean, it's just like, like the places that we haven't been to and stuff like that, like, of course, we would go back and kind of start over.
Right.
And you kind of build that up. You come back a couple times and like, hopefully it gets bigger and more demand, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, even, from there and in between, I mean, it was just snowballed into like all this stuff,
Right.
and then like we were like producing a bunch of stuff. We were working with Diplo and we did like Boy Oh Boy. And then like, from there, we also started doing more of like the EDM kind of stuff where we did the track on Size.
Hit It.
Hit It.
And then we did Dimitri Vegas and like Mike.
Yeah, we did that. Turn It Up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
And then-
those were like the ones that I guess got us into like the festival circuit.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we started doing
Especially like
Ultra, we started
Europe and
doing-
stuff.
Yeah.
Especially coming off of the Rihanna tour, et cetera, et
Nice.
cetera. Yeah.
Right.
What about like the remix culture? Because like some of my favorite songs from you guys are like banger remixes that you guys have done, and like I feel like the remix culture now is so much different than when you guys were having those crazy like Saria's song and
Yeah.
like Sandstorm, like all of that. Like I feel like it's a little different now. Do you think upcoming producers can like still pop off from remixes?
I mean, it's anything's possible.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that you couldn't. Like, there's a bunch of people that, I mean, we play and look for a bunch of remixes, and especially different shit. I think if no matter what, if you're making something that's interesting and different, like it could, like it'll speak for itself kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like people are just like, it happens so many times. We play random shit that we find online, and then like other people hear it and they're just like, what the fuck is that? Like that exact process that happens, that'll never go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's definitely possible. Just keep making dope, interesting, fun shit. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
like
How do you guys crate dig new music?
Yeah.
Like
I
do
like
you guys-
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Nice.
Are you
Bandcamp,
random?
SoundCloud.
Like, are you like randomly looking, or are you
Oh yeah,
searching?
I'm a mix of like randomly just going on the feed and then just looking through people's comments. I feel like
Ah.
everybody has like that little cheat where they just comment cool or dope,
Right.
and then you just find those.
Yeah. And
Those
then
are
like
the
once
ones
you once you find like
Those are the
he
free
taught me
downloads.
this, like once you find like a certain artist or something new, like go to their likes
Yeah, that's
on
what I
their
do.
page.
Yeah, that's what I do. I've
Yeah.
never done. I didn't even know about the comment trick, but I'll like find an artist I like through someone's likes,
Yeah.
and then I'll go to their likes and find someone I like
Yeah,
through
it's
their,
that-
and then like
it's
just
the
keep
funnel.
going through the likes.
Yeah.
The comment trick is just so that you can bypass
The download
Yeah, the
shit.
download shit. Just know if you can actually download it or not, because sometimes obviously people just have their shit not downloadable.
Oh, I see.
Right.
I'm kind of curious too. You guys had mentioned Diplo with working with Diplo. Diplo is you know, Diplo's Diplo.
Yeah.
Super hot, right?
Yeah.
He's my number one hottest guy, but I did move it in EDM. I moved it to now it's David.
Yes.
Ghastly. But what was it like working with Diplo? Were you guys, because he's been around for a minute, so I'm sure you guys looked up to him. Were you guys like insanely nervous to work with him? And obviously now you guys are working with Dillon. I mean, like, how does that feel going in as far as the beginning when you guys started, you know, making a name for yourself, working with these huge people? Like, how did that happen? How did that feel?
Yeah, was it
What
like
was that
Rihanna?
like?
It was sick. I mean, honestly, Diplo was one of the first guys I ever got into in the EDM space.
Yeah.
And like when we first met him, it was just on WMC on the street. You know, like he was
Oh,
walking
really?
around, and he honestly has the knack of making people feel comfortable. You know, like
Yeah.
he acted like he was one of our friends. Like
Yeah.
you know, automatically just, you know, like, oh yeah, send me an email, send me some more tracks. Like, you know, a couple times he came back to Miami, he'll like ask to pull up and like pulled up to Matt's house. We worked in his like bedroom studio and he didn't care. It wasn't like, you know,
So
he
sick.
Yeah.
totally
So
made
sick.
you feel comfortable. He was just like, what are you guys working on? Like, check out this new shit. Have you guys heard this? Like,
Yeah.
and he always taught us a lot of shit. Like, whether
Yeah.
it's, you know, in the beginning of the career, the middle, like, he's always had some game to like give us. And
Yeah.
That's
And
dope.
like kind of very similarly, like he loves really dope, weird music.
Yeah,
Like
he's
anything
the
that's
crate digger.
interesting.
Yeah.
Like he loves that. So we would always like, you know, like, oh, check this shit out. Like, check this shit out. Like, what's different here? What's, you know, like all that kind of stuff. So it's like,
Right.
it was always about the music stuff, you know?
And you never. So did you really feel any nerves about like producing in front of him or
Oh,
any
definitely,
of
yeah.
that? Like,
for sure.
Yeah.
okay, Wes, hold on. What if we?
Yeah, he honestly, I feel like he's kind of one of those like, whatever happens type.
Yeah, he
type of
allows
dudes.
Yeah.
the creative space.
Yeah.
It would seem like he would be a chill person to work with.
Super
Yeah.
chill. Yeah, and you know, like at the time too, it was like watching things like Major Lazer and like all the other shit he was doing as Diplo. It's just like,
Yeah.
that's what I aspire to be as a producer. Is just kind of like in every kind of genre, you know.
He's a
Yeah.
boss. Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of The XLNT Show. This episode is brought to you by XLNTSound.com. If you're an EDM producer and you need some serious sounds, make sure you guys go to XLNTSound.com. They have everything you need from serum presets, project files, remakes, and even free downloads for you guys. And check out all these different testimonials that all these heavy-hitting EDM producers are saying about XLNTSound.com.
And on top of that, use code The Excellent Show at checkout to save 10% off your next purchase.
Thanks, Excellent Sound.
Let's get back to the episode. So talking about producing, like, do you guys, how is the synergy with you guys in the studio?
Yeah.
Because me and Danny, we're changing all the time. Like sometimes Danny's driving for 4 hours and then
Yeah.
I'm driving for 3.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it's like 10 minutes, and then sometimes like both of our heads are on the screen, right? And we're trying to steal the mouse from each other and like go crazy. You know? Like how is it for you guys?
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely say about the same, you know, like we both do ideas individually,
Yeah.
all different kinds of shit. And then it just depends. Like if, you know, let's say we start working because it's an idea that I had started, like he'll just add a bunch of ideas onto it.
Cool.
For the most part, like I'm more of the like mixing master kind of
Yeah,
dude. So
sick.
like that aspect of things, I'll mostly like have control over. And he's, I guess, a bit more like creative, just like making just insane fucking ideas. I don't even know how he
Text-to-speech.
fucking does it.
Cool.
So you guys know your perspective role, not a role, but like you know what your strengths are.
Yeah.
And you allow the other person to
Yeah.
use theirs.
And then not to say like that how it like that's just how it is and
Right.
everything. Like we both help each other in both kind of ways and stuff
sure.
like that. But it's just I just think we have a massive respect for like what we both do and we're true fans of each other.
So sick.
That's amazing.
We're
What a
also
good
not-
way to
That's
put
such
it.
a great way to
that
put
that
it.
is a great way of saying it, is that you're a fan of each other. That
Yeah.
is so perfect.
It's just like it's just about making like the coolest, dopest shit, you know, and like
Whatever's the best for the song, let's do that.
exactly.
Yep.
And that's like you know I've you know I don't care how many people are on the record to just however many people it takes to finish something and have it be the best thing it could be. Like that's what it's about.
I agree.
I love that.
I agree.
I love that.
Yeah. Anytime we work with anybody that's like whatever, like we always split the whole song and everything percentage wise, like equally everything.
Yeah.
Even
That's
if they
exactly
did,
how we do it.
yeah, like
You don't want to work with other people that like don't have that same mentality when it comes to percents. Like you're fighting over like 0.25%.
Yeah.
Whatever.
and it's like you know, like okay, maybe sure one person did a bit more than the other person, but for the entire thing, like that whole idea wouldn't have happened without everybody that it
Correct.
took to make it
Yeah.
happen.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all ego.
I used to
Yeah.
have a really bad ego. I used to be like, no, I can do everything myself, and if I don't know how to, and it's so silly. It's like if you have a good friend that's really good at this thing that you're not great at yet, fucking let's do it.
Yeah.
Like it's just a no brainer, really, if
Yeah.
you think about it.
So I hate to bring this up with you guys, but
No, what's happening?
one of you guys are FL and the other one is Ableton.
That is a lie.
That's a
Fact
lie.
check, bro. You just got fact checked. And
I
they're
just
not
got fact
Grammy
checked.
nominated.
He's
So-
he's
Yes.
switching up my words. I didn't even say that.
Yeah. So
totally said that.
first off, I need to know about that, and second, like I want to know how to collaborate with an FL like producer because it's very difficult
sucks.
for me and Danny at least. And yeah, you say it sucks too, but like you know,
So
how-
there's a setting when you go to bounce things. It says create stems.
I know, but we're scared of commitment, dude. We're afraid of commitment.
There's nothing like working in the actual session, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
would say that, but I'd also say that's very limiting as well.
Correct.
Because
Yeah.
there's something about just like printing something, and that's what you're working with.
Sure.
There
Yeah.
is really something about that. At Vincent's at FL, that's exactly how we do it.
Yeah.
We just send stems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when you go to a restaurant and there's just way too many things on the menu. If
Yeah.
it's a simple menu, like your choices are a lot
Option
easier.
paralysis.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, like
But
if let's say we're collabing on something and I have an idea of how to move and work around in FL, that is so valuable. So like if we're starting the session on your laptop or whatever,
Yeah.
and we're working and I get an idea and I'm like, yo, like try this real quick. I can just jump in and just try the idea quickly, as
sure.
opposed to having to be like, oh, I'll wait my turn. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure, for
Until
sure.
I get the stems.
Yeah.
So I always tell people when they're starting producing, like, oh, what DAW should I use? You know, I'll be like, well, this is how I started. You know, I started with Logic, but then I learned Ableton.
Yeah.
And honestly, you should know both. And you know what? You might as well start learning FL too, because a lot of people are in FL. Like,
That's true.
I feel like it's harder, I think, when you start doing music professionally to relearn something like a new DAW.
For sure.
But I always think it's so valuable. Like, that's something I want to have is like, I want to be able to work with anybody in any DAW. Like,
Yeah.
that's like a goal of mine.
No, I agree. I mean, I think learning in general, you should never stop learning.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like no matter what.
FL's fucking confusing though, bro.
Yeah.
They made it a little bit more like how you would think.
When I'm watching someone produce an FL, I'm like, oh, so you can just put like that
Anyway.
representation of
Yeah.
the automation anywhere?
Yeah.
Like, you can-
Like,
what the
yeah,
fuck?
what track
That's
is that?
psycho shit, dude. That is psycho shit.
Yeah, if you
put it
think about
underneath
it.
what it's automating, motherfuckers. Like,
Yeah, so what do you do in FL and what do you guys do in Ableton?
Yeah.
Because like Zomboy, for example, he makes drums in Logic and then he brings it into Ableton and does everything else in Ableton, I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Hopefully
a
somebody-
Parker fact.
That's
Just like,
it is a
just like
Parker
how
fact.
one of them's
I'm
enabled
pretty sure
and one's
he
in
does.
FL.
Yeah,
Parker
he does
facts
his
are different than
drums.
real facts.
Yeah.
He does his drums in Logic
Allegedly.
and then brings it into Ableton. Allegedly.
There you go. Yeah.
So how do you guys divvy it up? Like, do you do drums in FL and then bring it into Ableton, or
I mean, for the most part, the reason I started using, so I've mostly always used FL. Julio primarily only uses FL.
Yeah.
is it because you guys are from Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for sure
FL,
Florida
Florida.
thing. It's 100%. If you're from Florida, you use
That's
FL.
a
Yeah,
good
it's
one.
on your birth certificate.
Yeah.
You just have
That's so
They
good.
give it to you for free
Damn.
for being a citizen. It
That
comes
would-
with
every
every
Florida
citizenship.
resident.
That works on too many levels.
It's really good.
Amazing.
Sorry, go on.
Nice. Yeah, no, I mean, I went to SAE in
Oh,
Miami.
Nice.
And I was just, I mean, shit, the first thing that I ever tried to use was, it was some random ass program. It's called Sonar.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no,
Cakewalk.
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 Yeah. And that was, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
And I just
What the
couldn't.
fuck was that?
And I
Yeah.
could probably come back to it now and like try to do some shit. But yeah, I tried that. Then I went to Ableton to try that. And I was like fucking what is even this?
Interesting.
And then I don't know, FL just clicked for me.
Yeah.
And then from there, then I started going to SAE, and I was mostly just using FL. But in there, they started teaching you a bit like Logic, which I fucking hated. Pro Tools, which is great for recording, but not great to work in.
People who produce in there are
Terrible with MIDI.
psychopaths.
Crazy.
Charlie Puthie.
Yeah, but I mean, I
Psychopath.
respect it because like it does sound great and it works well. Like especially for recording.
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
nothing like it.
Nothing
Yeah.
like it, yeah.
But yeah, then in there they started teaching me a bit about Ableton, and then I was already using FL anyway. But yeah, everything would just work for me, and the workflow just worked out for me so well in FL, and I just keep using it. But yeah, I would mostly start using Ableton because especially they had the time warping and the pitch,
Yes.
Audio.
and like the way that it would warp everything and sound good, and like in a lot of our early tracks, especially, I mean, in a lot of tracks generally, we have a lot of like change the tempo
Yep.
changes.
Yep.
And
Really?
it would be a lot easier to do it in Ableton, especially
sure.
at the time, than FL. Now FL, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing
Yeah, they
as
have warping
Ableton.
now, so.
But like
It's
I remember,
close.
yeah.
It's close.
But yeah, that's the main reason I started doing it. And then also, everybody, I would look up to is like, oh, we're using Ableton. Fucking Skrillex is making the craziest shit on Ableton. I got to use Ableton, all this kind of stuff. So I started learning it a bit. And then now primarily what I use it for is, I mean, for making edits, I'll still use FL, but Ableton's just so it's easy. And now like I really know how to use Ableton fully. But like for mixing and mastering and that kind of stuff, I just have my shit in FL.
Dialed.
That's
and it's just
dope.
dialed in. And so I just always, if anything, like there's some tracks that we've made. Actually, the Booty Bounce, I made in Ableton.
Fucking classic,
Oh,
man.
wow.
Fucking
Yeah.
classic.
And I think one of the reasons I also like it a lot in Ableton, especially now, to work in it. Even though I still take it back to FL, but because I don't work as quickly in it, my ideas are simpler, which
Oh, interesting.
That's cool.
like one of the main things that we've always laid back Luke taught us, less is more.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that
yeah.
is like works on so many fucking levels,
It
but
really does.
especially for music, like
That's a great point. You're
Less
kind
is
of
more.
putting a little bit of a
Cap.
like parameters on, or putting yourself. We kind of do that with like our videos. Sometimes we make like a song from our sample pack that we put out or whatever, but we can only use that sample pack.
Yeah.
And sometimes you come out with great ways by putting yourself in some sort of parameters.
Time
Yeah.
limits,
Yeah.
you know?
And it's interesting too because I feel like most people that use FL started on FL, but you didn't. You know what I mean? It's definitely the type of DAW that like if you start with, you stay with.
Yeah.
You know? But I feel like there's a difference between coming from somebody that started. I did the same thing. I started with like Pro Tools, like recording guitar, and then I couldn't figure out how to get a MIDI controller to work in Pro Tools.
Yep.
And that's when I was like, okay, this is the dumbest thing in the world, right? And then I saw somebody using Logic, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. So I started using Logic, and then learning how to use Ableton because I went to Icon, and I was like, I'm probably gonna stay in Logic. But I want to. There are some things in Ableton that I like, so I would do all my homework in Ableton because you could do either or, so that I could get better at it.
Cool.
But there's a point in which you're learning a DAW where you can use the DAW, but can you make something creative and make something inspiring? And I remember I knew how to use Ableton,
Yeah.
but I remember it took me like at least like a month or two after being able to like produce in Ableton to actually come out with an idea that I liked.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to what you said. It's like you just sort of letting it just sort of be simple because that's as far as you can go in
Yeah.
that DAW.
Yeah.
Will help you come out with a different sort of creative thing that you probably wouldn't have done.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
What
mean-
kind? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, just thinking on that, like, if some of my favorite songs are very simple,
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
and like it translates so well,
I find my stuff getting simpler and simpler.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys. We're talking about like simplicity in production. What kind of samples were you guys using like back in the day? Like
Good
now,
question.
there's like we're a sample company. Like there's thousands and thousands of samples out there. Like what were you guys doing? Because like it sounded insane.
I mean, a lot
that
of-
shit was hitting.
Thanks, man. A lot of vengeance, to be honest.
Hell yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
A lot of
Shout out.
vengeance.
Yep.
We use a lot of Ubershaw.
yeah,
Ubershaw.
Oh wow! I didn't know they were that old.
I'm writing
Ubershaw.
that down.
yeah. Some of our
I love
Yeah.
looking at old sample packs. now.
even more like the past year or so, we've been just going back to even older samples because
Same.
nobody, like
Yes.
barely anyone's using them.
100%.
Yeah.
I thought the same thought.
Yeah,
I
but a lot
recently-
of
Let him keep going.
Yeah, let him
keep going.
yeah, no, but a lot of the stuff that we would do is like he would get a lot of like hip hop samples, and especially back then, man, it was whoever's growing up into like working right now, and the fact that you have Splice
Oh man.
Oh
is
my God.
fucking ridiculous.
I love it.
It is
incredible.
It's
amazing.
incredible.
Game changer. For
Because
sure.
the like sample digging and stuff online and like going to like the random ass forums and
Reddit.
like probably getting like 18 viruses and shit to like
For real.
like find low quality sample, like you know what I mean, like it was fucking difficult, and then people would just trade them and like everybody would kind of have like a shared library and shit.
Yeah, I
But yeah, I'm saying we would have a bunch of like random hip hop samples and stuff, and then we would layer them with Vengeance samples.
Ooh.
That's
and
cool.
just try to get like different sounds out of these different things. A lot like was it early on we learned that Afrojack would like use like reggaeton snares and like sounds in his dance music, and that's why his shit sounded a lot different, especially at that time.
Interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, we just tried to mix like those kind of worlds.
And so nowadays you guys are still going back to those old. Now you're going back to those old places for new inspiration because
Yeah.
everybody is using sort of the same shit right now. So that
Definitely.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, we still use the Vengeance packs a hell of a lot. Like, we still use Ubershaw a lot. But I love, finding just random packs that, maybe people haven't heard or
Yeah,
shit
Yeah.
that's just not in the right genre and shit. I just love using everything.
yeah.
That's smart too. Is looking at like you don't have to work in a trap sample pack to find samples if you're making a trap song. You might find cooler,
Yeah.
more interesting stuff if you're looking in like
Yeah.
a random ass like
I mean, it's a great
Yeah.
way to sound like everybody else.
yeah. Good point. Very 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 good point.
I wanted to switch gears. So you guys mentioned Skrillex. We're kind of a fan of Skrillex.
Same.
You know,
You might say.
You might say. So can you guys tell us the story about Red Lips and like the timeline and like how did that come about where he made his remix?
Yeah.
What's the story behind that?
Totally fucking forgot that. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Dude,
It's okay, Daniel.
it's okay. I got
That's
your
one
back.
of
my favorites.
I know. I got your back, bro. I got your back.
You're all
Sorry,
good.
I'm so sorry.
Look,
Please
he's blushing,
proceed.
dude. He's blushing.
We were talking about it. I was like, yeah, man, I want like the old Skrillex. I'm like, yeah, I really want him to do some old Red Lips or something. Sorry,
got his
go ahead.
ass.
No,
funny.
so we were just what we used to do. We used to go to every summer to Europe and tour around there, and then we would have instead of flying back home, we would just stay in Amsterdam and just work there. And we'd pretty much in the summer always work with a bunch of different people and stuff. And yeah, we had just gotten like 2-3 years after the Rihanna tour, so we're still like talking to everybody at Rock Nation and everything. And our manager had gotten this vocal from Sam Bruno, who was writing stuff for Rihanna, and this was like a B-side thing that she didn't end up using, and they passed us along like, oh, do you guys want to use this? And so we just like, hell yeah, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So we just built this entire song around it while we were there in Amsterdam, working on this whole EP, and we just made that whole original song. We were super stoked on it. Think like 2 months later, maybe 3 months later, I think it was just after the Mothership tour because we were on like the back half of that.
Sick.
So it was a couple months after that. Sonny's like, yo, like we were in Vegas. We just played a show in Vegas. And Sonny's like, yo, we're at the Wynn Hotel, and they were working on the Jack U stuff with Wes. And he's like, yo, come through. Like, we're working on this. We'd love to have you guys like working all this kind of shit. So we get there and like get right into the studio. And that's also where we met Miha. Miha was there too.
Oh, nice.
Oh, amazing.
And yeah, she's like, oh yeah, play us some new stuff. Like, what are you guys working on? And I just played him that. And like halfway through it, even like playing, he just like stops. He's like, dude, I would really love to remix this. And I'm just like,
wow.
like, yeah, dude, of course. So like, fucking, I'll send you the stems right now. Like, yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it was crazy. Like, he just like knew immediately. Like, he's like, oh, I really want to work on this. I want to remix this. And yeah, I mean, it took the whole process. I mean, he made like 5 different versions of it.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
That's what he does, yeah.
And the first one was like, oh my god.
Yeah,
And
the
then
first one was already
4
like,
more times I was like, what
How-
the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Every single
How
one sounded
different
different.
was it?
It was different. Like
Yeah.
each one was different.
Really?
If you were to compare version 1 to version 5,
Yeah.
it's like the synth sounds completely different.
Yeah.
He fucked with the rhythm a bit too of like
Yeah.
the synth. But yeah,
Crazy.
it
Yeah.
sounds so different. Each one sounded super different.
Yeah, I think the first one, it didn't have the key change
Oh,
necessarily.
yeah.
And then all of a sudden, yeah, it just had that fucking whole key change section. It's so crazy.
So cool.
Yeah.
Then yeah, he like finishes it and then obviously starts getting a bunch of hype because he's playing it, whatever. And then he's like still holding off to release it. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, like Apple wants to make this whole entire fucking like epic ass music video and everything about it. And they have this whole thing. And then they fucking put us like multi-million-dollar like budget on this
Yeah.
music video. I'm like,
insane.
dude, this is crazy. For
With,
like a remix too. Like what?
That famous actor now. She's
With
really famous.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Queen's
The
Gambit.
chess, the
Yeah.
Queen's Gambit.
That
Yeah.
fucking show's awesome.
So
Insane.
fucking
She's a
cool.
great
So
actor.
crazy.
he was
I forgot
opening.
about
He was
that.
opening his sets with it,
Yeah.
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 which is pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah. No, it was fucking crazy, man.
Do
Like,
you guys realize
shout out
how
Skrillex.
like I feel so dumb right now?
Why? It's not a-
Because that's
forgot.
like that's the you know, obviously it's Skrillex, but you know
He can't even talk right
it's
now,
like-
dude. He can't even talk.
It's
dude.
literally like
hilarious.
like one of my favorite remixes
Yeah.
of like all time, and that specific sound in the drop that he went with. I spent a very, very, very long time trying to recreate that specific sound.
yeah.
And obviously a lot of that song came from you guys. So just to, for some reason, I don't know why that slipped my mind.
He's so
But
mad at
it's
himself.
literally like, it's very, very special to me personally. So
yeah.
thank you guys for creating that. That's
yeah.
so fucking rad. I feel so silly that I fucking
Skrillex.
remember that.
Since we're-
Because I know that, but it fucking
Since we're talking about individual songs of yours and remixes and stuff, what was it like obtaining a smash fucking hit?
yeah.
We,
How's that feel?
I mean, we didn't
Numerous
even, we didn't know.
smash-
No,
Yeah.
I know,
Like
I
you.
know, I know, but we know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
clout.
it's, I mean, it's a fucking amazing feeling. I would love for more of them to come. No, it's fucking, it's really amazing. You know, we go into like in any session that we do, we go into it just trying to make something cool. Really, like
Yeah.
not trying to like do this or that or like have any kind of expectations like that. You know, especially like working with Martin on Intoxicated.
Yep.
You know,
Shout
he
out
just
Martin
like,
Solveig.
yeah, he just like
Yep.
hit us up on Instagram or Twitter, I think it was. And I was just like, yo, you know, just really interested in making some stuff. And like Martin makes fucking amazing music and
Yeah.
he's an incredible writer and
So
singer and
good.
everything.
He's on a
And
lot
it was
of stuff.
so yeah, dude, like especially for people that don't know, like you'd be so surprised like how much stuff he's done. It's fucking
Yeah,
amazing.
check out his credits.
When
Yeah.
when you guys put the finish stamp on that song, did you feel like in your gut that you had something exceptionally special?
Not really, no.
Really?
We're
To
just
be
like, oh,
honest.
this is just a cool song.
No
Yeah.
way.
And to be
It's
honest,
really
it was
cool.
so different from like the last things we would put out. I think around the same time we had Prison Riot. That
No, in the same week we put
fucking
out
great
Prison Riot and
Dude.
Intoxicated.
That was the same week.
That was the
same
same
week.
week.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah. Very
Yeah,
Wild.
I was blasting Prison
very
Riot,
different
dude.
things
Prison
there.
Riot's so good. You guys are such OGs. God
Yeah,
damn it.
Prison Riot was a huge one for me too.
So
yeah.
Shout out Flosstradamus.
But
Yeah.
I feel like it's a really cool moment when someone. I mean, you guys were so inspired by underground music and doing the weird kind of edgy thing. That moment when you break through to like, oh, this song's on the radio 150 times a day or something like that.
It
That
was
has
sick.
to be a crazy like out of body experience.
It was amazing.
yeah.
I remember we were on tour, and like we ran into Yellow Claw, and like you know Yellow Claw does trap and stuff. They're like, "Yo, we love that record with Martin Solveig." We're like, "Really? Yeah." Like we just came out with Prison Riot, really? And then we didn't realize it. I mean, we didn't realize it, but man, honestly, it was honestly such a blessing. And yeah, hell yeah, let's make some more.
What a
Absolutely.
banger! What a
Fuck yeah,
banger of a
boys.
song, man.
Thank you.
Fucking
So-
and Prison Riot too. Fucking love that song.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What's up, guys? Parker here. Quest for Bass is out now. I want to give you a little sneak peek. We got some super sick 808s. Snares are super sick. Rims. Full drum loops. I really like the breakbeats folder, man. They're all super original. These bass one-shots, they are absolutely insane. Vocal chop loops. Plus the bonus folder. So go check it out now. Quest for Bass is out. There's only 1,000 licenses. So click the link in the description and see if you can get your license today. What do you guys look for in a person to collaborate with them in the studio? Like you said, you like eclectic music and stuff like that. Do you purposely like go out of your way to look for interesting people to work with?
I mean, I would say yes and no, I guess. Thankfully, we have people that are like coming to us and stuff a lot.
Yeah.
We also just love working with each other a bunch. But yeah, I mean, the main thing, at least for me, and I think we've talked about this before, just as long as someone's open to just making something cool, and like that's the point.
Yep.
Yeah.
If it's like about anything else, it's obviously very apparent that it's not like it's not about the music and that stuff.
Yeah.
But like it's got to just come out. It just whatever is happening, there's something about just being present, being there, making something, making mistakes that lead to fucking something cool.
That's the best.
Like the lead for Boy Oh Boy, we like literally happened by a mistake. Like we like ran it through some processing, and I was trying to use Ableton because Wes would use Ableton.
Yeah.
And I was just like dropping like random fucking overdrive and this and that or whatever, and then like it just kind of made that sound, and then like I took that sound and brought it back into FL, and then we kind of worked on it a bit more there.
That's crazy.
It was just like like willing to make happy mistakes and like just get weird, I guess,
Fuck yeah.
And one more criteria though is no Google Drive.
Oh yeah,
Google
for
Drive.
sure.
My
Yeah,
man, let's go.
God.
No Google Drive allowed.
No Google Drive.
Oh, I
Yeah,
hate
that's-
Google Drive so bad.
yeah.
Yeah, it does suck.
Dropbox.
Yeah.
Dropbox all the way,
Dude,
right?
Dropbox.
If anybody
Yeah,
uses
Box.
Google Drive and you're watching this right now, click exit.
Unsubscribe.
So, do you guys find yourselves when, say, you're trying to write a crazy synth line for a drop or a crazy bass line for a drop, do you guys find yourselves mangling audio and samples more, or do you find yourselves in Serum or Massive
Both.
twisting knobs? Both.
Both.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick.
That's epic.
I definitely do like fucking with samples, but I think also fucking with Serum is awesome. Serum's like
Yeah.
top tier.
That's what you guys. That's your go-to synth.
Lord and Savior.
Serum.
Lord
I still
and
use
Savior, Steve
Yes.
Duda.
Steve Duda. Honestly, Massive too. I still
Yeah,
use
Massive is
Really?
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spire.
Spire. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I
okay.
Spire's
love
great.
Spire. What else? Oh, I've been using Synplant too a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Synth too is crazy.
Yeah,
The-
Synplant 2 is really crazy. So fucking
Xenology, like the
Yeah, the
chord
Roland shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've also been using this company Cradle.
Yeah, dude.
All of their
I just
stuff.
gave Danny
like the
the
Prince
free one
and
today.
the fucking all of those things.
They're
Yeah.
super dope.
Unbelievable. But I got the whole fucking thing. The particle, the God particle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Unreal.
I have heard about this.
God
Holy
particle
shit.
is amazing.
Yeah. All of the stuff on the Dillon EP that we have, I did all, like mix and mastered all the things, God particle,
God
everything.
particle.
Really?
Dude,
Nice.
fucking incredible.
I got to get on that.
Was it the Spirit for vocals?
Yeah, the spirit is sick.
Amazing. I've just been using all of that shit. Like it's so fucking good.
I just gave Danny. It's called Bitflip. It's like their free like
Oh, right, yeah, I
Nintendo
saw that one.
64 like sounding.
Yeah.
So they're the same company that makes God Particle.
Yes.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a multi-band and
Yeah.
a limiter, and that's
right.
it.
That's
That's
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful too, the way the plugin works.
Yeah, it's really cool.
The design of it's really, really nice.
Well, I just think especially for what it's built for, it's like just really fucking good. And I just put it like within my chain as well.
Oh, you're putting it on your tracks too?
Yeah, and it just like it feels like it just brings all the frequencies, it's a multi-band thing. So it brings all the frequencies to like a certain at least level.
Yeah.
And then like the parameters that are on it are like pretty subtle. So like it's like this certain range that it brings everything up to, which across the board of like all the, for mastering and just hearing stuff in general, like it just all sounds good. And then you could adjust from there depending on how you're using it.
Nice.
So like if you fucking suck at mastering and mixing, get the God particle
Yeah.
because it like brings you at least to that like base level
That's awesome.
of like all around good shit, unless your
Wow.
mixing is terrible.
Yeah.
which
That's
nothing can save you there.
That was the
Yeah.
most amazing like testimonial for
yeah,
Jason Joshua.
we should make some money.
Sponsor
off
me,
that.
please.
Yeah.
Hopefully Jason Joshua is watching.
Jason Joshua.
Sponsor the pod, dude.
Yeah, Cradle Audio sponsor the pod.
Sponsor them, bro. They're
Sponsor them.
Yeah, me.
Yeah. We'll share.
as a fan of electronic music, I want to know how to make everything. You know what I mean? So it's like if you take the time and don't necessarily think about like which lane you need to be in, like that will happen naturally. Like you don't have to think about it. But the more music that you make of different genres, you're going to carry all of that with you
Yep.
when you start creating stuff, And I always tell people that I think is the best way. I want to be a boss at every single genre. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For example, I've been doing sessions for a lot of other people lately. Been helping some friends develop their project and teaching them how to do stuff. And a lot of them don't want to do the exact lane that I'm in. They want to do bass house. They want to do some more trappy stuff. They want to do some more pop crossover stuff. Stuff that I usually wouldn't sit down and make for myself. And being forced to write that music that's out of my comfort zone, the amount of new techniques and tools and just random things that I'm learning and then bringing back to my stuff is so valuable. So forcing yourself to get out of your comfort zone and writing a completely different genre at a completely different BPM and a completely different key or scale than you're used to, like you'll learn stuff that you can bring back and improve your own stuff with.
Yeah. I think that's a really good segue into Dillon Francis.
Yeah, buddy.
You guys both are insanely eclectic with styles. You know what I'm saying? And there's a baby. There's a
baby, yeah.
Dillon Francis baby coming out very soon.
I also just want to say real quickly that everything that you just said was 100%. But you also forgot to mention the fact that maybe if you jumped into a new DAW, you might. Because he's talking about, I won't touch FL. Imagine if you did, though. Like, just side note, like, imagine if you did just take a day just to, like, whatever, like, no pressure, just have fun.
See the difference? You guys are all like, oh, so I learned on this, and then I was introduced to this, and then I did that. The first thing I ever used was Ableton. I've never used anything else.
Yeah.
It's a little different for me. Yeah.
I mean, there's something to be said about just that whole thought in general. Like, if you get out of your comfort zone in any fucking thing that you do, you're going to learn something. Learn something about yourself, too, you know? Like,
100%.
It's just like you carry that shit with you. That's literally what being alive is.
It's true.
Sorry for that segue, but I had to point that out.
It was the worst
had
segue
to-
ever.
I'm sorry.
It was the worst.
You had such a good
It was
transition.
incredible, dude. We should just cut that whole part out. Dude. Cut that
I
whole
did
part
fuck
out.
it up, didn't I?
It was like the
That
perfect
was such a
transition.
good-
dude.
Danny could not resist calling me on my shit.
I had to call him
I'm
out.
sorry. So
now
anyway,
let's see
back
how-
to more of
let's
an
see how you
eclectic
fix it.
sound. I
Yeah.
got this. So the reason why I bring that up is because when we're talking about developing a sound, you guys are very eclectic in your sound. As well
He's just stealing my tranny right
as
there.
Dillon
Just
Francis.
stole my tranny. It's because it's Dillon Francis.
I'm
isn't it?
transitioning right
It
now.
is.
Well, I mean, that is kind of your roots, though, right? You guys
Great
did a lot.
segue.
Thank you. You guys did a lot of. I mean, is this like a Moomba EP?
It's a Moomba
Yep.
EP.
This is
Like,
a Moomba
you
EP.
guys are familiar with that genre. You guys have done
Yeah.
a lot of stuff with
Maybe
that.
a little
Two of the
bit.
pioneers of Moomba right
Yeah.
here.
Maybe a little bit.
Straight up though.
So, yeah.
you guys were at the forefront of that movement.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, well, honestly, I feel like Dillon working on this with Dillon is such a full circle moment.
Sorry.
fuck.
We're fucking around.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, great transition. You were saying working with Dillon, it was a full circle moment.
Yeah, full circle moment. I mean, honestly, one of the ways I got into Moomba Tome personally was through him.
Amazing.
Him, Moonchi, obviously Dave Nada,
Yep.
Titsworth.
Yep.
So being able to work with him on this kind of like music is obviously just a full circle moment.
Yeah.
Um,
For
awesome.
for like all three of us,
All of us,
you know,
yeah.
like it's
So
all of
cool.
us kind of coming back to this thing that kind of got us all into
Through
you know
roots.
the whole space and stuff. Yeah.
That's so
sick.
cool. Was that the first show that you guys played with Dillon? Was that 2012 Day of the Dead?
With Dillon, yeah, pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Wow.
Either that or maybe was it U-Haul or was he?
no, I don't think
He was
there.
also on the Mothership tour as well, wasn't he? Wasn't he on that?
Yeah, he was on
was.
the
That's
the other half.
Oh,
the
okay.
first
So you
half.
guys weren't together.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, on the Mothership tour was with Dave.
Dave Nada.
Nada.
Oh yeah,
Nada
Strom.
Strom and Matt.
Strom.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
So is this? I'm sorry if I don't know this, but is this the first time you guys have actually made music with Dillon, or have you guys had tracks?
No, they have
before?
clubs.
You have a
Okay,
bunch of tracks.
So going back to like just like Moombatone, I have this conversation with my fiance, my girl. Shout out Kaylee. We always talk about it how there's something about, to me, the Moombatone beat.
Yep.
What is it about that specific rhythm that makes you want to
It
dance?
feels it's
It
such a
feels
special pocket.
So good. Yeah, I don't know.
Yep.
I like maybe I'm the only one that thinks about this shit, but I talk about it's like if you're especially if you're Latin, like you hear that shit, you're gonna start moving.
It's
you know
infectious.
what I mean?
Yeah.
It's,
It really
it's
is.
kind of crazy.
I mean, it's everybody.
and
really.
Everyone.
Yes.
Yep.
And the specifically the tempo too. Something about producing at like 100 BPM or 105 BPM is a lot of fun, especially if you're doing some type of like Moomba.
Yeah.
So yeah, like as far as that for you guys being from Miami, like I'm sure that had some inspiration on that at all or no?
Yeah, no, 1,000%. I mean, we were there listening to like the early reggaeton stuff that was coming out. So like a lot of that was super inspiring to us. Like,
Yeah, like just hearing that rhythm and it being so familiar, we felt like creatively we could just go crazy with it, you know?
Yeah.
yeah,
And I felt like also just being super inspired by all the Dutch house that was going on, like
yeah.
Jack, DJ Chucky, all these guys.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Chucky.
and it was literally, I mean, it's literally, which it still pretty much is, like it's mixing like the Dutch house with reggaeton. And it's
Right.
like two things we fucking love. So it just makes so much sense.
Natural.
Yeah.
That created a really cool wave too with like Moombahton, and then also too the trap influences that came in with like guys like Brills especially too.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Doing like that 105 sort
Yeah.
of shit.
Heavy.
You know, with those bubble basses or bubble leads and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
The pitchy stuff. And
well, like Moonchi, for example, was I feel like also one of the guys that kind of like pioneered
Oh yeah.
mixing all that kind of shit. You know?
Right, yeah.
It just like from opposite sides of the spectrum, and like he would execute it so well. His shit was still to me like some of the best shit
Yeah.
in the genre ever, really.
Is there
Yeah.
a release date for this EP?
yeah.
Yeah. January 26th.
Let's go.
Oh, we're coming out soon.
Yeah.
Let's go.
10,
epic.
10 days. I think today's the 16th.
When are we putting
Yeah,
this
10
out?
days.
In 10 days.
Or is it-
17th.
Are we
Oh,
putting it out
17th.
right when it comes out? So we can
Probably,
tell people,
yeah.
go
It is
listen.
out now.
It's out now.
Link in the description.
Yeah, we'll put the link in there, obviously.
Pero like
How many
EP?
songs we getting?
yeah.
7 songs.
Oh shit. That's a lot of.
That's it.
Although I think
juicy
there's
EP.
2 versions of one, so maybe 8, I think.
That's 7.
Yeah.
What can we expect? Can you give us any sort of thing that we can kind of expect from this EP? I know obviously you said it's more of like a Moombahton sort of EP.
Yeah.
But yeah, what can we expect with it? How are the you know the songs laid out?
How would you describe it?
So there's
Yeah.
music.
So there'll be a kick drum.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, you're right. There's some noise,
Okay.
different kinds of noise.
Oh wow.
Serum.
Vibration.
Vibration.
Yeah, no, we just tried to do a little bit of all the different influences of Moomba, and then just tried some new kind of shit. There's like a techno Moombahton
Ooh.
kind of thing.
Cool.
Cool.
That's called Motherfuckers.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah, there's like a resi kind of like mid-tempo kind of one.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, sick.
Some classic, just big Dutchy lead, fucking Moombahton kind of Moonchi shit.
Nice.
Some kind of club stuff. There's like a reggaeton kind of like track that's a kind of Moombahton thing. I don't know, just got a bunch of everything like in that
tempo range.
Yeah.
We have like the simple shit, like this, like minimal kind of shit. Not too many shit, not too much shit going on. Then we also have like the
Big
Bangers.
drops.
The big drops,
like
yeah.
epic shit.
yeah, the more electro kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Some kind of like like kind of Gesaffelstein almost like shit.
Oh,
in
that's
there.
our
Yeah.
favorite. That's
Yeah.
our favorite.
Love
It's a good mix of stuff.
That's cool.
Awesome.
Great.
How refreshing was it coming back to doing a whole EP just in like this speed realm? Like how much fun and refreshing was it?
Super refreshing.
Super dope. Yeah, honestly, it was fun just being able to go back and listen to a lot of the older Moombahton stuff too.
Oh, sick.
And just
Yeah.
geek out with Dillon about it and just be like, man, like, do you remember this shit? Like,
Yeah.
you remember how? Yeah, like, I mean, it was just super awesome. It's very nostalgic.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I like
Yeah,
that
it
you
was
guys
cool
are
as hell.
like, you know what, like we're going back to this. This is our roots, so to speak, and obviously doing it with Dillon is the perfect person to do it with too.
Yeah.
And it could use like a resurgence. Not that Moomba ever went away, but like I feel like that is something that I feel like we need more of right now because everyone's just doing 150, you know, or they're doing drum and bass. I feel
Yeah.
like
Or
you know.
tech house.
Or tech
Yeah.
house. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's kind of funny though, because like, you know, so Moombahton was its thing for a while and everything, but then it kind of like the people who were doing that and consuming it, let's say, like it kind of shifted and turned into like J Balvin Mi Gente.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
that's a
Bad Bunny.
Moombahton track.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
And then that
100%.
all just like made reggaeton come back and everything, like with that beat and everything, and then it got back to like real pure reggaeton stuff.
Yep.
Right.
And there's just been like that's kind of what it's been shaped into now. So it's like still like globally massive and popular, but
Yeah.
like in dance music itself, it kind of like fell off a bit. It's kind of funny how that all just fucking worked out.
Weird.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
that you say that too, because I feel like I might be off on this, but I feel like even like with like the UK bass that's like big right now, there is like reggaeton vocal inspiration in
True.
that too.
Yeah.
Like M.R.
Yeah,
you
a little
know?
bit.
And you guys know M.R.
think so.
Turn the pussy red. but he's all like reggaeton.
Yeah.
But like that, or like Flodan, you know, like even the way he raps is, I don't know, it just feels like very. I could be totally off, but it feels.
I don't know
like
about
reggaeton.
Flodan.
All these genres go in cycles, and you know
Yeah.
we saw dubstep kind of fall off, and now it's back bigger than ever. And I'm gonna
Yeah.
go out on a limb and call you guys being back at the very beginning of this Moombahton cycle, popping the fuck
I kind
off
of feel
again.
that too.
I guarantee
love
it.
the BPM too.
We
I
just
love
we
it.
also love doing what people aren't doing.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to just keep doing the same shit everybody else is doing. It's boring.
So
you know?
boring.
It's probably a lot of fun making that. I'm assuming too, because you're like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna go make something that's nostalgic and that we like. That's gonna be fun.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Quick break from the pod. I just wanted to share with you that we have an exclusive link in our description containing hundreds of the most accurate remakes in the EDM industry. That's right. I said it. Not only that, we have organized folders containing hundreds of Ableton racks and Serum presets ready to be thrown into your project. This might be too big of a secret to share with your friends, so let's keep it between us girls. You're probably thinking that it's going to cost you hundreds of dollars to get these exclusive sounds, but you'll be pleasantly surprised to see how affordable it actually is. Hope you got a big enough hard drive. Check the link in the description called Producer Vault, and let's get you back into the episode.
I'm curious too if there's a song that maybe both of you guys could say that was either like this song came so easily and it just flowed right out of us.
Great question.
And also I want to know which song that gave you guys the most trouble that you eventually finished and put out, but maybe you're still not happy with it. But so do you guys have a song?
That's
that
a great
you,
question.
Off top, I think easiest was probably. I mean, this is just the first one that I thought of, but the Party Up remix that we did.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice!
Oh,
What
I
a
love
banger!
Right out.
Yep.
Yeah, literally, like I said the idea like vocally to him. I'm like, the synth should go like, ha, ha, na, na. And you know, we like made that pretty much in like 4 hours, something like that.
Yep.
Wow.
Sick.
Yeah.
Pretty much all of our best songs, and this is fucking wisdom for whoever's listening. All of our biggest songs, other than maybe Intoxicated, and that's just because we had to like, you know, he was traveling, so it was like collab on certain times. But all of our best songs, biggest songs, we spent like the least amount of time on.
Same.
Yeah.
And you just was it like, oh, we have to get this done, so like it's done? Like, was it those type of scenarios, or you're just like,
Some of them
just worked good?
maybe that's just how it worked out. But a lot of like Soraya's Turn Up, that was like 2.5 hours, 3 hours,
Oh
and we
my
were just like,
gosh.
we were in Amsterdam again that same. I think it was that same week that we did Red Lips, and we were playing I think Tomorrowland.
Yeah, we were playing Tomorrowland, and on the train, I had like started the idea.
Yeah,
Or we
and
like-
because we were like, oh, we need something new and super dope for fucking like
Yeah, well, let's
like
do
hard
it.
and fucking, you know, like
Yeah, we need something hard, you know, 4/4 that we could play, you know, with some trap shit after.
yeah.
And like, you know, obviously that melody from from Zelda or whatever is so like
Yeah.
catchy and stuck in my head.
Iconic. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I mean, honestly, just an idea that was just like that. Like, man, this is funny, or like this is cool. You know, like remember this melody? And
Yep.
just like make a simple edit for a set.
Yep.
And that's kind of just where it started. And then after that, we like sat down with it, finished it, and yeah, it became like a big part of our sets too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big part of a lot
There's-
of people's sets.
There's like a common theme with every guest that we've had on the podcast, which is simplicity
Yep.
and having fun, not trying so hard.
Yep.
And like producing off laptop speakers,
Yep.
you know, just to get the idea out.
Yeah.
And it's like you guys are reinforcing everything that everybody
Yeah.
else has said
Right.
as
All
well.
of those all over the fucking walls. Like
Yeah.
that's literally that's golden.
Yeah,
Like, it really is golden.
It's incredible, and I've written some of my favorite songs on laptop speakers when I wasn't trying hard. You
Yeah.
know, I wasn't
Yeah.
trying. I just wanted to have fun.
No expectations.
No expectations.
Exactly.
I'm around people that I'm comfortable with, and it
Yep.
just flows.
Yep.
So I just thought that was like really cool, and I just wanted the people listening to like really understand that like. You guys aren't just saying this.
Yeah.
The
This is like
10
a
other guests.
law in the universe.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
10
for
other guests
real.
aren't just
Yeah.
saying this. Like,
Yeah.
it's a real thing. You know, we get caught up in the sauce where, you know, we got barefoots. We're like listening to every frequency and
Yeah.
we're driving ourselves crazy. But it's like,
100%.
you know,
I mean, that's like same thing. Like the simplicity of the idea and like delivering that. Like even if it's poorly mixed, like if the idea is that strong and all those things, like none of the other things fucking matter. Like it's all about like
So
that
true.
simple fucking. I mean, there's been a bunch of hit records that are like not necessarily mixed well.
Badly.
Yeah.
You could say badly.
Yeah. Fuck. Oh man, I was listening to that. it came up the other day because I didn't realize it when it first came out. But there's that fucking it's like that Kanye West song with I think it's with Beyonce and somebody else. But there's like a fucking snare that's just so loud.
like a,
Yeah.
like a mistake.
in the
Sounds like a
entire
mistake.
song. But like it's a fucking hit. And
Right.
it's an
Yeah.
incredible, like you guys all know this fucking song.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like everybody does. But like the snare is unbelievably loud.
12 dBs too loud.
Yeah.
Type shit. Yeah.
And like that's also what kind of makes the beat and stuff like that as well. But like you know, like it just if the idea is good, the song's good, like it's gonna be fucking good. It doesn't matter.
Fuck yeah.
It's all about like don't fucking overthink it. Don't fucking get in your head too much. And I
Yeah.
need to listen to more of that myself too. You know, like
Yeah. Everyone can.
I like the idea of like creativity or you know, you can get all super wispy with it or whatever, but like flow is like if something is like if you're having a difficult time with something, then most likely that thing is probably not going to be a good or like you might finish it, which is good, you want to finish it, but
Yeah.
you're more likely, and it sounds like you guys are like doing a lot of quantity to be able to find the quality, so you're allowing yourselves just to flow out whatever comes out naturally.
Yeah.
And if you're struggling, that's almost, I'm not gonna say you should give up on it, but that's almost a sign of being like, okay, well, I'm struggling on this, so maybe maybe I should go back and start something new that flows a lot more naturally, you know? Because it is a reoccurring theme. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's
Every
pretty
single
insane.
guest.
Says the
every
same
single
type of
guest.
thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
like one of the things we've luckily been able to be in the studio with Pharrell a couple times. And
Of course.
Whoa,
It's like
Whoa.
So our dude Mikey's his engineer.
Shout out Mikey.
Shout out Mikey.
Mikey.
But he's been an engineer for forever. I've known him since
Wow.
Miami.
Nice.
And one of the things that like just in sitting in the studio and watching him work, like one of the things that he does is he'll work on a beat or like an idea for like I don't know, like an hour and a half or whatever. As soon as it becomes like oh what like I don't know what to do next kind of thing, switch projects and he starts opening something else up and starts doing something completely different.
Oh,
I
that's
heard
a really
Sonny
good
does that as
idea.
well.
Yeah. And it's just like it's such a good way to work because like you want to be in that state where it's just coming out. And if you're sitting there and get stuck on a certain thing,
Right.
like switch it up completely because then you're not thinking about it anymore and you could even come back to it later.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's just so helpful to like just switch like gears in your brain and stuff.
Yeah.
And like it because that is how it comes out the best is if it literally just pouring out of you.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's
Very
like kind of
weird.
like spiritual in a way. Like
Yeah.
it's really weird.
We're,
that's what
we're just
happens.
fucking vessels,
Yeah.
dude. We don't have like full control. It just either fucking flows through and we're open to it or we're fucking not. It's fucking wild.
But
Yeah.
you know what's interesting too is we should be called songwriters instead of producers.
Yeah.
We just call ourselves producers because we're in Ableton. You know what I'm
True.
saying? That's it.
Yeah.
Like when it
FL
comes to
Studio users don't call themselves.
but yeah, like you know, when you're doing paperwork for percentages, like there's producer or are you the songwriter? You know,
True.
Yeah.
And it's usually you're the songwriter. You know, but yeah, I think it's very interesting using songwriters' techniques like as a producer when you're just by yourself writing music. You know, I think it's amazing.
Speaking of writing music, we should get into
Yes.
a little track
Yes.
Are we
breakdown
gonna
situation.
open up are you guys gonna show us anything from the EP per se?
I'm super down.
Yeah,
Yeah?
Fuck yeah.
let's
Yeah.
do it.
Do you got any speedball questions for the boys?
No speedballs, but no speedballs. But I did want to. So we were talking about simplicity. I have one more question.
Okay, yeah,
and
yeah.
then we'll go into the nitty gritty stuff. But so we're talking about simplicity. We're talking about flow. Do you guys have like a big baller studio that you guys work out of, or is it the total complete opposite? It's simplicity, KRKs, broken speaker. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have nice equipment,
Yeah.
but I don't have like it's just in my apartment.
Dope.
And
It's a nice apartment.
Well, so what are you rocking? What kind of speakers do you have?
well, I mean, so I have focals and the sub,
Nice.
but I don't use the focals, and because it's just too loud for my apartment.
True.
Right.
So actually, what I use a sub, the sub 6 or what I think it's the same one pretty much.
Yeah.
But then I use the iLouds,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
you don't,
Yes,
dude.
I do. And they fucking sound incredible.
They sound great.
They're
They
like
do.
Yeah.
They're like 129
We had
or
this
something.
discussion.
Oh, I hate the iLouds.
I'm
not into it.
For people that travel or anything like that, they are, for some reason, those speakers
They're incredible.
are
There's something-
great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
there's
had them for
something
many
magical
years
about
too.
them.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
especially at the time for the size of the speaker.
Yeah.
there weren't a lot of options.
Yeah.
and then the ones that I was looking at, they were like brand new when I was first getting them. I was looking at getting them for the bus tour, and then they came with the little microphone to do the fucking like
EQ.
listen to the room and like EQ itself a bit.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, and so like it just always worked well. And then
so wild.
the vocals were just like fucking overkill.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
huge.
Which
And
ones do you have? Do you have those? The SM9s?
No, it's the Twin B6.
Oh, the Twin Sixes.
Yeah.
Nice. Those are great speakers.
Yeah, great.
They're
That's-
loud.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
loud.
no, super loud. That's why when we had the studio here, that was our main setup, and that's why we did our whole album that we did in 2016 was on that. A bunch of stuff, but we had like a full room and everything, and it was it made more sense.
Nice.
But
And
yeah.
what kind of interface? Because you guys are going Mac and PC, right?
Yeah, so I mean, my main setup is just a desktop PC. I use the Volt UAD Volt 76.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Oh, that works with
Nice.
a PC.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah. So especially now, most UADs work for both.
Yeah.
And the drivers
they
are all
have USB.
updated.
Man,
See.
we're out of the game.
Yeah.
We're out
No,
of the
it's
game.
crazy. Like over the past 5 years, everything's just become multifunctional, like for,
sure.
everything.
Finally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Julio, what are you using at home?
Yeah.
I have, the regular KRKs. And
Same, bro.
Nice.
KRK sub,
Nice.
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 My left speaker's blown.
Dude.
Yeah, so
I just
just
have
work on
a
headphones.
picture I could show you guys.
Oh,
Nice.
fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
How did I guess that, dude? That's insane.
Yeah, KRK 8s had them since I started.
That's dope.
But yeah, I'm due for a new pair. Anybody wants to
Well,
hook me
dude,
up?
the KRK sub is
hookups?
like magical.
Yeah,
dude.
KRK sub
We
is-
have,
It is.
besides this room, in every other room, we have KRK subs.
They're
Hell
great.
yes.
And they're just
Yeah,
they're
KRKs are great, man.
loud,
How the
they're aggressive.
VXs? You guys have the VX.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, yeah.
VXTs up there.
I'll tell
Yo,
you
you
what.
like those, right?
I do. I want them.
Thank you.
I'll tell you
Thank
one thing. I got KRKs at home too, but it might sound funny, but I will never get a better mix down out of anything other than my beat mixers, dude.
Oh hell yeah!
I've been using that. It's just, and I know, yeah, they have a giant EQ on the sub and blah blah. Everyone's always like, yeah. I'm just like,
Yeah.
dude, I have such a good relationship with them.
You know that.
Like, I know how they translate. I will never get a better mix master than out of my beat mixers. I swear.
They have
It's
to bring
crazy.
those back, man.
Right?
I'm sad they discontinued them. Or isn't that what
Are
happened?
they discontinued?
Well, I thought so because last time we got
Oh,
a free
that looks
pair,
dope.
and they were like, "Yeah, these are the only pairs we have left." Like, remember
Yeah.
they discontinued?
Oh,
them?
no way. Damn.
And you got
Mine
like
are-
a couple of them.
Yeah,
I
they
think
gave
they've
us
all
a couple of
broken
them. Yeah, they're
Mine are
broken.
old and fucking beaten down. I got to take care of them.
You have,
Yeah.
you have the
Holy
wooden
shit.
ones, right?
No, I had it was just the black.
Oh, this is
the David Guetta,
fucking awesome.
the David
Oh,
Guetta
nice.
edition.
Yeah.
Looks
yeah,
awesome.
They were cool.
Fucking
It's fun.
sick set of the
It's
art's
definitely,
dope, too.
definitely a good vibe.
Would you be all right with texting me that
Yeah,
later
yeah.
so that we could show it on the podcast? Because
Yeah.
I think that would be cool. For
Oh,
this.
this is sick, bro. You got
Right
the
there.
bent
Yeah, yeah,
screen.
yeah, for sure.
You know what I think
I
is
love this.
is kind of cool and inspiring just hearing you guys talk. For a lot of producers that have been doing it for a long time, I know that a lot of them get really busy with touring, and they don't really get a chance to. It seems like because we work with people too. They don't have a lot of chance to like really work on music, so they get teams. They might get somebody like us to help them. Or somebody else, and we all know that that's like a normal part of the industry. But it sounds like you guys are really, really into what you do. And it sounds like you guys are always constantly working on making new ideas and making new beats. And I think that's really inspiring for somebody to see you guys at your level have been around for a long time, that you're still super excited to open up your laptop and create ideas. Like,
yeah.
I think that's actually probably more rare nowadays with people at your sort of level of success in the industry. So I just think that's really cool that you guys are still grinding. You're still, and I'm not to put down anybody that has a team. Obviously, like that's awesome too. But it's inspiring to know that you guys are still rocking your laptop and your KRKs and you're
Yeah,
just
man.
making
I
beats.
think it's impressive.
Me too.
You
Yeah.
know, you guys put out a lot of music. You guys put out a ton of music, and it's a hard thing to do. I see artists that started with you guys. Not going to mention names, but their catalog is not even close to where your guys' are. You
So
know what I'm
true.
saying? So it's very impressive.
Very
very
Passionate.
impressive.
The
It's just
passion.
it like I said, it's really just about the music, you
Yeah.
know, and about like if none of this would have fucking happened, and like Julio and I would just be working on music anyway, like
I'm
that's really
in
what
Florida.
it's about.
in
Yeah.
Florida. Yeah.
I'm
Hopefully
so,
outside of
I'm
Brooklyn.
so jealous that you guys started in a place where you didn't have to make a fucking potentially viral TikTok to promote every song. I fucking everyone's like Frank, dude, if you really want this project to pop up, all you got to do is make a fucking poppin' TikTok. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, fuck me. Like,
Dude, well, I mean,
all I want to
it's-
do is write music and play shows. I don't want to. I didn't sign
gotta
up to
get
be a
over
fucking
that.
influencer.
You gotta get over that,
it's
Frank.
so annoying.
Do what you like.
Yeah.
That's what's
You guys-
gonna
I'm
help
just
you
saying,
be
definitely-
successful.
You
I
guys
will
are
say-
blessed. You guys
no,
are
for
blessed.
sure.
We
Yeah.
definitely tried before, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
like for example, this song that we're hopefully coming out soon. I think it is coming out, but
What?
it's called The Rhythm. It's like a rhythm.
Oh,
of the
the
night.
rhythm of the night. Yeah.
Oh,
Like
cool.
Flip. We've been playing a lot.
I love that song. This is the rhythm.
Yeah, we made that as like
Yeah.
a
Dope.
like maybe this will go viral on TikTok type
Yeah.
shit, But I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, we're just fans of all the shit, So we honestly like learning, how to make some cool shit, especially working with younger producers and
Yeah.
people making different shit. It's always been fun for us.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, I definitely will also add to that. Like, we also feel those pressures to to do all that and make something. We've been told a million times, just do this because it'll do this.
Yeah.
So, and like I get it. I understand where it comes from. Obviously, it works for a lot of people, and I think also part of it is like there's nothing wrong with trying,
Yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with like taking like seeing what is working and trying to like not adapt, but like trying to do your own version of that
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of shit. It definitely is a lot of pressure and it sucks.
Yeah. It's like what I was gonna say was like definitely like if you guys have a song, you're like, oh, I think this might go off on TikTok. Then by all means, make a fucking TikTok. and
Right,
let it go
right,
off. But
yeah.
what I'm saying is that
Like, that's how.
if you're starting today you're
For
gonna
sure.
put out your first song. You're told, and it's a large majority consensus. You have to pop off on social media. You
Yeah,
have to make a
it's
big
true.
reel. You have to make a big TikTok.
It's true.
It's what's gonna reach the most amount of people in the least amount of time.
Yeah.
And it's just I feel like in today's day it's a very special thing to not have to do that to
Yeah.
acquire success. You know what I'm
True.
saying? It's just like
very true.
I'm so unbelievably envious of it.
I do think it'll get to a point. Sorry, I don't know who else cutting off.
Oh, go for it.
I was just saying, I do think it's gonna come to a point where like there's just so much regurgitation of the same thing
Yeah.
that like people and more people will look outside of these things to try to find shit because it's good. Like anything that happens too much over, like people get bored of it. Like it literally happens.
Yeah.
Do you guys like? Sorry. Do you guys like doing video content?
No.
No, not at all.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. I think you have to find enjoyment out of how
Yeah.
you're going to promote it in whatever way you want to promote it.
And
Like,
it definitely comes across too. Like if you don't, which I mean, there's been tons of stuff that we've just trying.
Yeah.
But like it doesn't come across because it's just not naturally in us to do that shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is, I think, the most important thing is like doing what you like, that you actually enjoy, will always be successful. Other people will gravitate towards that.
I like doing
Yeah.
this. I don't like
Yeah.
filming a TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You know?
Same.
you have
Same.
TikToks because of this, though. You know what I mean? So it's
That
like-
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
another thing I was gonna sort of ask you guys too, just on like a producer duo sort of thing, is what type of things do you guys disagree on? Do you guys find yourself
Ooh.
disagreeing? I don't want to bring in the hard hitting questions, like I
like it. I like
Parker
it.
and I, Parker will get on a stick
Spill
where
some
he's
tea.
like,
Spill some tea, dude. It's
"Oh,
okay.
we should do a fake out," and I'm like, we did 10 fake outs the last 10 songs. Can we fake a fake out? And it's like, so that gets on my, and there's shit
It's
that
fair.
I do
It's fair.
that
It's
gets
fair.
on his nerves. So
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
not like in a bad way. Love making music, but are there certain things that you guys are always kind of like, maybe like disagreeing on musically? I'm curious.
Sure, I'd say yeah. I mean,
Is there specific things that you're always pushing
Who
for?
hates fake outs? Who hates
Yeah.
fake outs?
I love
As much
fake
as
outs.
Danny.
I love
Let's
fake
go.
I like fake outs too. I just don't
I like
like them in
fake outs.
every song.
No, I agree. I completely
Same.
agree.
I guess production wise, I'm not really sure if I like hate anything. I'm always like, but I like try everything.
But as a person,
No, disagree. What do you guys like usually disagree on? Like me and him will disagree sometimes on like
Using reference tracks.
reference tracks. That's a big thing. Or
I don't like using reference tracks, and Danny does,
Yeah.
and we like find a middle ground.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
you like listen to it with like only one headphone.
yeah,
No, we just listen to the left side of his reference.
yeah.
No, I mean, I would probably say like I definitely overthink a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Probably too much. And I'm sure. I mean, you've told me before, like.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
It gets annoying. I'm sure I know it does. It
Yeah.
gets annoying in there too, man. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I don't know. Like, I don't know. There's not really many.
That's a great. I think that's a great answer. Just
Yeah.
saying, like sometimes I overthink things, and that might, cause not help the songwriting. You're in a relationship with another person. You're basically fucking like in a relationship. Like you're almost like married to your fucking.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, we're kind of like our compromisers. We
Yeah.
compromise with each other a lot, and just if I, for example, don't like a certain idea, I'm not gonna say no to it. I'm kind of gonna let it rock until like the end, and then
That's important.
yeah, honestly,
very
I want to
important.
see the idea through and
Yeah.
see how that feels.
That's
know?
hard.
No, and same. And I think the same way. And I know a lot of times, obviously, I'm like overthinking and hard headed about some shit. But, like we always end up talking about it and like the end product ends up changing.
Fuck yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's what I do to you sometimes is I don't let you like if he's doing
Yeah.
an idea and I'm like not feeling it right away, it's hard for me to like remind myself that like, hey, he needs to like flesh out this idea in
Yeah.
total, and you need to like.
There's like steps
I
to
have to,
get
like-
to what I want to
Yeah.
present to you,
Yeah.
but
And I have
you're
to
just
like
in the
work,
room.
like
Yeah,
that's
just
the,
in
I
the
know
room.
that I know
that's
that
like-
that pisses you off.
Yes,
as
for
a,
sure,
as a
for sure.
as a collaborative. So I like have to like be
I can see
mindful
that.
of that.
Yeah,
of,
for
like,
sure.
Because I'm very much like you too. I think where I like overthink a lot more probably than you do.
Yeah, I
And I
think
try to check in, like I
Yeah.
try to make sure like, yo, I know I'm fucking overdoing this shit, but like, you
Yeah.
know.
Let me.
yeah. So Danny, you're more of like the detail guy
Yes.
when it comes to like producing, and then I'm more of like the big idea guy, kind of bringing what you're doing together a little
Yeah.
bit.
True.
Sometimes we switch, you know what I'm
Sure.
saying? But like I feel like that's usually what happens with us. Sometimes he goes too deep into the hole. You
I
know?
get stuck in the loops.
Yeah, you
and
get
then
stuck
Parker
in the
will
loop.
like help. Sometimes I'm saying that's probably
Yeah.
would be like something that I'm like, ah man, I fucking will get.
But then, yeah, sometimes I'm too all over the place.
Yeah.
I have like 17 different things going on, and Danny's like, dude, I don't know what you got going
you
on.
go
Like,
off the reservation.
yeah,
sometimes.
Yeah,
exactly,
off the reservation.
exactly.
I mean, I think we pretty much do the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like Julio's like an endless machine of just like so many ideas, and a lot of times I strip it back,
Right.
and we kind of like balance each other out in that kind of way.
That's
That's
what makes
cool.
a good duo.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think this is a great transition or tranny. However,
call this the
however
nerd
you
out.
want to
Transition
say.
already got
Nice.
cut off by Frank.
I know. Can I please have a
Second
transition?
that got
for,
ruined.
for Christ's sakes, please
Yes,
give me a
please.
transition right now. All right.
It would have
Bro,
been
give
so
me the
good.
crossfader.
I saw it was
Give me the-
coming, and then Frank just
I
nailed
know.
it.
I know. Give me the crossfader for once. All right. Thank you. No, the crossfader.
Parker,
Thank
did you
Frank.
have something to
Thank
say?
you. Yes. I think this is a great opportunity
For what?
to. Let's pull up a song. Let's open the laptop up.
Yeah,
and let's
nerd
get
out.
nerdy. I want to see some plugs. I want to see what's going on the EP.
Let's fucking do it.
Let's fucking go. Sneak peek, baby.
Yeah.
All right.
Dope.